Hello and welcome to Stories from My Drinking Days. My name's Harry Fell and I'm the founder of No Low Cocktails and Bars. We're joined today by Yarka accounts. Yarka came to the UK in 2002 as an au pair and is now settled in Bristol. So welcome, Yarka. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your drinking journey. It's obviously you haven't been brought up in the UK. You were brought up in the Czech Republic.
Yes, Czech Republic. And if anybody knows anything about Czechs, we drink and we love our beer. And there is a drink called Slivovica as well. And it's kind of a plum brandy. And it's been sort of pushed at me ever since I was little. And I just didn't like the smell of it. It didn't really work for me. Beer was sort of pushed on me. And they all knew I'm a bit of a lightweight as well. So I could easily just have half a pint or, glass of wine. And I was tipsy. I knew if I have any more, I lose control. So I always kind of moderated my drinking from very early. I was like, oh no, you need to drink more. You need to practice. You need to build resilience. And I'm like, no. And I just remember this time we went to see my cousin and they live in an area where they do wine. So it's a winery sort of area. And we went out and I got so bad. I don't know how much I had to drink, but I then walked for like an hour to walk it off. I couldn't bear to be, to get it out. So I walked it off. And I just thought ever since then, I was very in control of knowing how much I'm going to be drinking.
Yeah. So would you say you don't like the feeling then of being drunk?
It's not the feeling, it's the losing control.
Okay.
That was always my big thing. The moment I felt I'm losing because all those stories, you drank, somebody picks you up, they spike your drink, and especially when you then move countries, you don't speak the language, and a lot of people might find the accent attractive, or I was always worried that it might then play against me, although I was with friends. Yeah. So I was always the one that was in control. So I managed to always take myself home as well as my friends. And that was sort of working for me. But yeah, but being in Czech, it's been always a bit of a, it's always been a bit of a, like, oh, you're Czech and you don't drink. I was like, well, it's what it is. Or I don't drink, to get drunk.
Yeah, fair enough. So you've pretty much always moderated your drinking then, really, from quite an early age. And how did you find a difference in the drinking culture between the Czech Republic and coming to the UK?
It was, I think in Czech it was more done as a family or with a big group of friends, whereas in England I found it a bit more getting drunk for the sake of getting drunk. Yeah. It's all, and kind of in Bristol, it's all quite notorious for people getting a bit violent and very aggressive. Not violent, but more aggressive, vocal. And that was always a little bit kind of scaring me. So I always allowed myself a drink, but not to a level to either be the target or be one of the people to do that sort of stuff. So I always kind of try to stay away from that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that sounds really sensible, doesn't it? That's a very sensible and grown-up approach to drinking, really, which I think a lot of us don't quite manage. So having moderated then for the majority of your adult life, you actually don't drink at all now, do you?
Oh, do you know what? I do. I used to like a pint of cider. Thatcher's was cider was my little weakness. Or, Bailey's, Malibu. I know all of these things. I worked in a bar and we used to have, a bunch of shots at the end of the shift before we went home. 20 years ago or something. But this summer, I don't know what it is, premenopause or the sun is shining stronger, or I don't know what's in the air. But this summer has been really hard for me to drink because we went out, we went away into Cornwall for holidays. We love our little, we love caravaning. So we went away caravaning and we met our family as well down in Newquay. And, we were together. Everybody's kind of having a, can of beer, and I had a cider. And the day after, I mean, I experienced migraines, but what that was, it was like a migraine, hangover, paralyzed, bedbound, all in one. I was like, what is this? So it already took one day away from me being with my family on holidays. And I thought, I'll just suck it up. I'll be fine. I was struggling, really, really struggling. Then we were celebrating something, and I had a glass of wine. I've got no words. What was happening to my body was not only painful, but what I realized was, right, I can't do this. As much as I'm enjoying the glass of wine or some pint of cider, it's not worth that 10-minute enjoyment of drinking it and getting tipsy is not worth me losing my holidays with my family with.
Yeah.
That was a massive, massive realization. I didn't see that coming at all. It's a bit like, drinking coffee. I dropped coffee, and I only drink coffee when I'm really tired, and it's definitely a coffee day. But I don't drink it for the taste. I drink it to stay awake, for the caffeine. So when somebody offers me, coffee, sorry, I diverted a little bit, but it's a very similar thing. It's like I enjoyed the taste this time of the alcohol and being tipsy, but it's the day after and the day after. I don't know whether that's life after 40.
Well,
I just found it really difficult.
Yeah, I think our body's reaction to alcohol does change as we get older, and definitely in perimenopause. Lots of women report that their reaction to alcohol is so much worse. So I definitely think, I mean, yours does sound extreme, but I think it's something that that a lot of people experience. Yeah,
I'm glad it's not just me then, because it was so funny. We went out with a couple of mums that we meet on a school run, and we just, let's just go for a drink. I had one glass, half a pint of cider, and I'm talking, this is June, way before summer even. And that's when it sort of started to feel a bit, maybe it's not for me.
Yeah.
So we went out, and then I went to my office as well, because I work with a team of accountants as well. And they're like, oh, so, why didn't you come to work yesterday? And I'm like, you're not going to believe it. And I was like, well, what happened? And I said how crappy, how awful, how dreadful I felt after half a cider. And they just looked at me saying, and the same thing, you need to build resilience and all of that. And I'm like, no, I just can't do it. And the word that popped up after, and I was like, right, it's going to live with me. Yarka, you're pathetic. I was like, I am pathetic. I can't even have a glass of wine now.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure that's you being pathetic though. No. I think our
they meant it all in kind of a funny way, and I took it funnily. I mean, if it was anything else, I would probably take offense. But it was all kind of handled in a fun, sort of, humorous way, rather than getting, vocal about it. But it was, so no.
Yeah. It's amazing though, isn't it, that people have said to you that you need to build up a resilience to alcohol, rather than actually us just accepting that our bodies aren't designed to process it. It's something that societally we are expected to persevere with until we're able to, cope with the alcohol.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's very similar with food as well, isn't it? It's, the obesity of people is kind of growing, and then you go in the shops and 2/3 of the shop is processed foods. It's like, well, how are we supposed to avoid it if it's right in our faces? And the same with alcohol, it's just in your face.
Yeah
Whether it's an advert on telly, or you go somewhere and they've got a bar, or you go to someone's holiday, birthdays, and you go, oh, what do you fancy drinking? I've got wine, I've got this, I've got that, da da da. It's like, I've got my bottle of water, thank you very much.
Yeah. So when was your last alcoholic drink then? When did you have your last drink?
That was probably August, beginning of August.
Yeah.
Say around the 10th of August or something like that. That was my last alcoholic drink.
Yeah, so about 2 months ago now.
Yeah.
And have you noticed any changes at all since you completely stopped drinking?
I feel, in regards to that, what I find a lot easier, now I've realized why I'm not drinking, it's taking me away from my family and everything. It's a lot easier to say, no, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Usually in past, I was a bit more tempted. I was a bit like, oh, just a little bit. I could just a dink a little weeny bit. I could just, but now I know I can't even do that. So it's a lot easier. I don't feel as pressured into drinking because I've got a very good excuse. I just need to keep remembering it. You know what it's like with people, you forget. If you don't do something for a long time, you forget why you do it or why you don't do it. I just need to remind myself of this. And I think, being on your podcast, I'm just going to press repeat to just remind myself that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Well, you've got a very strong reason why you're not drinking, don't you?
I feel it is. It's a lot easier. I mean, body-wise, I haven't really, because I've never really been a heavy drinker. So it's not like I suddenly, lost a lot of weight. I wish. Or,
Yeah.
Or, I still have a brain fog. I think that's still there from having 2 babies. So, I haven't really seen any differences as such. But that, just finding it a lot easier and be able to joke about it and just be free about it. I'm not awkward about it. No. I used to probably say, no, I'm trying to, the sort of thing, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to cut down on my calories. I'm not going to have a drink. I'm not going to have, anything. But now it's like, no, I'm good. Thanks. I'll just have my bottle of water. And you will see me with my bottle. If any event, you'll see me. I'll have my bottle of water with me.
Yeah. So, and how has everyone's reaction been to the fact you don't drink now at all?
Oh, Yarka, you're pathetic. This is just crazy. How can you not drink? Just try a little bit. Just a dinky. No, I'm good. So they still keep pushing. I think they haven't quite accepted it. But what I've started doing and what I am definitely going to look up will be your drinks. And I've just started, there's like a non-alcoholic cider. And I don't think that's even something I'm going to be doing. But I'm just kind of looking at alternatives. So I kind of miss the social that goes sort of with it, in a way of I just have the fancy glass, with the Coke or something. I miss that a little bit. And it's the taste, but I'm just need to know a few alternatives that are non-alcoholic. So I'm going to investigate into those and give those a go. So it's not just easy for me, but it's easy for others as well.
Yes.
I think. Because like, oh, you're just being selfish, not drinking. I was like, well, I don't know how selfish is that. Well, I am probably selfish, I suppose, because I think of me more than the day after and the day after, more than anyone else seeing me drunk. Because what's the fun?
I don't think it's selfish to, well, it's not selfish really. You're putting yourself first. You're putting your family first. It's not.
Yeah.
And all you're doing is not drinking alcohol. It's not, you're not harming anybody, are you?
Yeah, it's not like I'm taking drugs or anything.
No, exactly. No, not at all. And there are some really good non-alcoholic ciders out there now.
I'm starting to build a list of things. But then again, you then almost need to go directly to people rather than actually in shops, because there's not a lot of choice in the shops.
No, that's true. And I would say the only thing to look out for when you're looking at the non-alcoholic ciders is actually how much sugar's in there as well. Because some of them are quite high in sugar. So
you see,
replacing empty calories
with
more empty calories. So
Red Bull on steroids.
But there are some really good ones out there, depending on what you like. And I think Thatcher's do a 0% as well now. So
do they? Oh, you shouldn't have told
me. Yeah. So I quite like the Smash Drinks. Smash Drinks do a cider 0%, and actually it does taste like cider, because obviously, the one thing that you hear people saying is, well, surely non-alcoholic cider is apple juice. But,
there's bubbles in apple juice. Yeah. I think there is a lot more science to go with it.
Yeah, definitely. So, tell me a bit about your business then. You qualified as an accountant after you obviously came to the UK as an au pair. And what made you go into accountancy?
I shouldn't be probably saying this. This is going to stay on internet forever and ever and ever. So when I first kind of had a taste for accountancy, it was in a business academy in Czech before I left for England. And so we had a project subject that I was kind of taking, and as we were doing the final exams, my teacher went, Yarka, whatever you do, don't do accountancy. But I guess when I kind of moved into England, I sort of fell into it. So the first 2 years I was working as an au pair, looking after other people's children. And then when I went to university, because I wanted to have a university degree because it's a big thing in Czech. I was the first one for my family to do a university degree. And it was a big thing for me to try at least. And I had the opportunity to do it. And I'm like, right, I'm doing it. I'm totally doing it. So accountancy at that time wasn't something that I kind of had my eye on because of what my teacher said. So I did English as a foreign language and European studies. And part of that degree was to go to as Erasmus. So I went to Sweden for a year, which was absolutely fantastic, the best year of my life. And another year was to work in a work placement. And I got a work placement in a language center. It's now closed. It was in the city of Bristol in the center. And I started as an intern, so I was sort of doing everything and nothing, just a bit of admin, sitting at the reception, accepting new students and all that. And when it was then my time to go back to university to finish my last year, the opportunity was to do a part-time bookkeeping alongside of my degree. And I thought, I am looking for something part-time. And I told the boss, I told the lady then, I was like, but my teacher said not to touch it. I was like, I don't know. I've never done it in England, so I'm getting, you don't know what you're getting, and I don't know what I'm getting myself into. She said, well, just give it a go. Let's just give it a go. Let's do it for a couple of months. And if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Okay, we'll find you something else. And here I am, like 17 years down the line, I'm still doing accounts. So what Action Your Accounts actually is, I am doing the traditional year-end accounts, tax returns for clients. So I do the accounts for them. But what Action Your Accounts actually is, and it was set up 3 years ago, it's potentially a platform for those who do their own accounts. They either can't afford an accountant, so they're at the very beginning of their journey, at the beginning of starting up a business, or they might be in a business for a long, long time, but they were just treating it as a hassle alongside of their, employment, full-time employment. But I've got a strong feeling. I'm a very strong believer in everyone having access to accountancy support, whether you are at the beginning or at the very, very end. At the beginning to you are, billionaire, let's say.
Yeah.
But it's very important that everybody has that access, because what you do when you start business, you start Googling things. You are a member in Facebook groups and you ask questions. And then you get 20 people telling you different things. You get probably about, say, you sift it down to 5 different opinions between those 20 people. But you still have those 5 opinions to sift through which one you're going to go for. And that's not right. That's still a lot of hard work. So I've got at the moment, it's free group, solopreneurs without an accountant. But from 1st of November, that's going to be a kind of a 2-tier membership with guest speakers. We still get the you ask, you answer. The free, what I'm trying to say, the free options to work with me will be a download. I've got a podcast as well called Action Your Accounts. And there is on my Facebook group, Facebook page, I've been sharing loads. I'm doing 100 days of lives at the moment as well. So if anybody is interested in listening to me rambling on about how to run a business as an introvert, or how to process your bookkeeping, that would be the place to go.
Yeah.
Or you can try. I am actually doing a 5-day challenge as well on the 30th of October, which is all about accounts, income, expenses, allowable expenses, and how to start the total utter basic. So if anybody is interested, if you're interested, please come along.
Excellent. So you still have your own, do you have your own agency that does accounts for people as well?
It's not my agency, but I do work alongside a chap called Nathan Brady. So we run Stepping Stones Accountancy, and we've got a team behind us who does the work, because I haven't got the capacity to do that as well as doing the year-end accounts and tax return. So we've got a team who sort of does the actual work, the year-end accounts, and then Nathan goes through it to just make sure that everything is correct before it goes out to clients.
Brilliant. So, I mean, Action Your Account sounds like a fantastic resource for entrepreneurs and particularly new starters.
Especially if you're starting up, yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise, it can be quite, expensive compared to your initial takings when you're starting out. And obviously, everyone wants to try and save as much money as possible.
No, absolutely. And I think the question people usually have is like, oh, at one point do I outsource, or can I do it without an accountant? And you totally can. The thing about accounts, it's not it's regulated to a point that whatever is sent to Companies House and HMRC needs to be accurate. But it's not regulated to a point that only a licensed accountant can do your accounts. Anybody can do your accounts. You just need to be careful that they are licensed, that they're experienced, because you could easily just find someone who's not. And, then either, because they are not regulated, it's really hard to then fall back to, okay, he's done a crap job. Who do I tell?
Yeah.
Me being a licensed accountant, you know exactly who to go to. It's all over my social media as well. But it will be AAT. So it's really important that you've got somebody to fall back to if that person isn't licensed. And I feel that it's really important that somebody who is trained to do your year-end accounts and your tax return, rather than somebody who just wakes up in the morning and goes, I'm an accountant. Yeah. You're not. You're not.
Yeah. No, there's definitely people like that out there. Particularly people offering bookkeeping services that actually just don't have the training really to do it.
Exactly.
And you're absolutely right. Accuracy is the number one thing, isn't it, when you're doing your book?
Just do your due diligence.
Yeah. Brilliant. So what's the best place for people to connect with you?
The best place is Facebook. Either find me on Facebook as my name, Yarka Krajickova, which will be my personal page, or my podcast on Spotify. You can find me there as well.
Brilliant.
Or just call me.
That's brilliant, Yarka. Thank you very much for joining us. This has been Stories from My Drinking Days, and my name is Harry Fell from Nolo Cocktails and Bars. Thank you.
Thank you.